Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Adit Tria Pramono. I'm from State Islamic University of Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. Now I will tell you about my novel review and also my novel story. The title of this novel is Too Close to Home by Linwood Barclay, and this is the characters of the novels. Jim Cutter, Ellen Cutter, and Derek Cutter. They are Cutter's family. Albert Langley, Donna Langley, and Adam Langley, they are Langley's family. Detective Barry, Conrad Chase, the famous novelist in this novel, and also Drew Locus. Okay, the story begins when Derek comes to Adam's house to help Adam prepare their things to vacation with his parents. After finished preparing some things, suddenly Adam gave to Derek some stories about homosexuality that they found in Adam's computer that he got from Mrs. Agnes, his neighbor. Adam copied to Derek because Adam wants to Derek read the story with the title is a missing part. And then after that, Langley's family decided uh, to go to from their house, but Derek didn't go to his house because he planned to stay in Langley's house because he wants to have some sex with his girlfriend in the basement of Langley's house. But when Derek still waiting his girlfriend to come, suddenly Langley's family come back and said that Mrs. Donna was sick, so the vacation is cancelled. But Derek was hide in the basement, and then suddenly Derek heard the gunshot for 3 times, and when he checked to the living room, he got surprised because he saw the Langley's family was died, and then uh, Derek decided to go to home silently and not tell to everyone about that incident. And then the next day, when Jim and his wife Ellen got breakfast, suddenly he heard someone scream from Langley's house. And then when he checked it, he got surprised because he saw that Langley's family was died and full of blood. And then he called the police, and then Detective Barry come to to Langley's house and ask some questions to to Jim and Ellen. But they didn't know anything about Langley's family because, as they know, Langley's family was going to vacation. But when Detective Barry asked to Derek, Derek said saying the truth about that incident in that night and said that the killer was killed Langley's family and also stole the stolen the Adam's computer. I mean, and then after Detective Barry got some information from uh, Derek and also some evidence about that story that which is Adam gave to Derek and also Derek gave to him to Barry about the missing part novels. And then Detective Barry, Ellen, and Jim meet Conrad Chase because Conrad Chase was the person who made missing parts and story novels. And then Barry asked some questions about missing parts novels, and asked the relationship between he and the Langley's family. But he said that he didn't know Langley's family, and just said that he just know Langley's family was Ellen and Jim's neighbor. And then uh, uh, Detective Barry didn't believe with uh, Conrad Chase explanation and still uh, suggests Conrad Chase as a killer. And then the next day, the police department called Detective Barry that they found some evidence that related to Derek was the killer of Langley's family, because in that night when Derek was run from Langley's family and goes to his home, there are some footsteps of Derek printed in the floor of Langley's family's house, and then Detective Barry decided to count Derek and imprison him and accused him as a killer of Langley's family. But when Jim and Ellen knew that his son was imprisoned, he just tried to get some evidence to prove that his son was innocent and he's not the killer of Langley's family. And then one day, Jim meet with Drew when Jim still tried to get some evidence. Drew becoming Jim's worker after Drew released from the prison. And then one day, when Drew called Jim to to get some money off from his work, Drew realized that Jim and Ellen not in their home, and Jim and Ellen got kidnapped uh, with someone. And then Drew saved Jim and Ellen from the killers of the Langley family. And then when Drew succeed to to make the kidnapper uh, fall fall they found out that the killer was Conrad's wife brother named Lester. And then suddenly, Jim, Ellen, and Drew went to the Conrad's Chase house and want to have some want some explanation from Conrad's. And then Conrad's give explanation about everything about Lange's family, and he said that it's just a misunderstanding between Conrad and Lester, because Conrad asked Lester to go to Jim house uh, to get his data back, but unfortunately Lester from got wrong of house and just shot the Langley's family, because Albert tried to attack Lester when Lester tried to get the data back. And then when heard that explanation from Conrad, Jim, Ellen, Derek, and also Drew was mad because he didn't believe with Conrad. How can Conrad said it was just a misunderstanding? It is a murder. How can he say this? Is it just a misunderstanding? And then Jim and Ellen decided uh, to call the police and uh, try to imprison Lester and also Conrad. But Conrad met at Jim, Ellen, Derek, and also Drew, and he put his gun into Ellen, but it was too late because Conrad was died by Drew after Drew shot his head, and then Conrad was died, and Drew being imprisoned again, and then it is the end. Okay, I think that's enough from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.